What's good, folks? It's KnightmareFrame here with a new Warframe, a new Saryn video. Yes, I know I do a lot of these. But with the recent melee reworks, melee Saryn is even more powerful and diverse because of the different melee weapons you can use now. You're not only locked behind Zaws. Since we're talking about a melee Saryn, you know we have to use the augment Contagion Cloud. It's the Toxic Lash augment that creates a toxic cloud within 5 meters that deals 300 toxin damage for 12 seconds. The damage scales with power, but it gets even stronger with melee kills. You see where I'm going with this? The cloud radius also scales from range, but they don't get that big. Another thing is that you should avoid corrosive weapons and corrosive projection aura. Saryn does not need that ever, no matter the build. It's because your spores do so much work to strip enemy armor. My power strength is at 155%, which gives me 77% status chance on my spores. And spores do corrosive damage ticks per second, which strips quite a lot of armor. And by popping the spores by either shooting or performing melee, you spread them even more, further increasing the amount of corrosive ticks, which rapidly strips armor. They spread even more when you pop them with Toxic Lash active. That's your third ability, as this ability allows you to instantly burst the spores when the target is affected by them, and it's doubled when using a melee attack. So you see, you never need to run corrosive projection, and if your weapons have viral or gas, it ends up melting the bad guys. For this build, I will only be using my first and third ability most of the time. The second ability is there to cleanse me of status effects, give me a short speed boost, and deal more toxin damage within the area when it explodes. This build will have you slice through heavy armored units like butter. It even feels unfair at times, but screw those guys, right? Exactly. Taking a look at the build, I have Swift Momentum in the aura that grants 6 seconds of combo duration and 30% heavy attack windup speed. No need to run Steel Charge because you're already doing so much damage, and this aura will help me with the melee build I'll be using. My range is at 190% with Stretch, Auger Reach, and Cunning Drift. This gives my spores a radius of 30.4 meters and my Contagion Cloud 9.5 meters, and my Molt with the explosion radius of 19 meters. And no, you do not need Umbral Forma. All mods fit with ease. Power strength is at 155% with the 2 Umbral mods combined, giving me 77% status chance on my spores, 465 toxin damage per second with Contagion Cloud, and on my Molt I have a 1.78 speed multiplier, 775 health, and 620 toxin damage on my Molt explosion. Hunter Adrenaline to replenish energy when you take health damage. Handspring for the 160% knockdown recovery because, as I always say, spending less time on your butt is a huge DPS increase. Adaptation for the added defenses, and finally the augment. And yes, arcanes make this build even better, but you do not need to run them. I have Avenger granting me 30% crit chance when I take damage, and Strike to increase my attack speed by 40% when I deal damage. Super useful in melee builds. Now, of course, a melee Saryn is nothing without a good melee. And what better melee to use than the Cronin Prime? After the rework, this melee became a beast, a literal beast, as this has you shred past hordes of enemies like they're nothing. When you take a look at the build, it's not what you normally see. So, the stance is Sovereign Outcast, the best Tonfa stance. All the combos are deadly, no need for Prime Pressure Point as we can do so much with the reworked Condition Overload with its additive damage with each status effect. And when you play with Saryn, there's going to be a lot of those status effects. Primed Reach to increase our range, Blood Rush for the 60% crit chance per combo multiplier, Organ Shatter for the crit damage, Berserker to increase the attack speed when critting, the dual stat mods for the viral combination, and lastly Healing Return to keep me topped up. And with Saryn, the more you cut through enemies, the more you heal. And now you may be wondering, where is Drifting Contact or Body Count? Well, our aura Swift Momentum helps us out a lot when it comes to that. And to maintain your combo counter even more, I'll be using Naramon with Power Spike. This will have my combo counter decay slowly rather than having it vanish completely. So it makes it super easy to keep up the destruction. We did not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing your best friend, Helios. So this is the only melee sentinel in the game. A very simple loadout, but what matters is detect vulnerability. This highlights enemies' weak spots once you've completed a codex scan of those enemies. It's like having a pocket sonar Banshee. And that's not all. To further increase the crit chance, I'll be using Deconstructor, the melee sentinel weapon, as a stat stick just for the 3 gladiator mods to boost the crit chance when I build up my combo multiplier. This turns Saryn into a true melee beast. To be honest, you can run whichever melee you like, but let this be a template of what you can do. I love this frame and there's so much he's capable of. I have so many Saryn builds, do check those out as well if you're interested. And this has been it from me. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. For more Warframe content, streams, and so much more, do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.
We'll